Hi everyone. Today I'll discuss about the structure of flower, which is the continuation of part 2. Before going to start the lecture, I request you all please subscribe my channel, click on like and share. Okay. Then today we'll go for the union of stamens. Here how these are united. Okay, as we already discussed that anthers stamens are nothing but it is the male reproductive structures. So there is the union of stamens. Just like we have seen the union of calyx and corolla. Okay, in the calyx also, if they are free, we call it as the polysepalous. If the calyx is united, we call it as the gamosepalous. Same for the corolla. If the petals are free, we call that condition as the polypetalous. If those are fused, we call it as the gamopetalous. Same here, the union of stamens means the stamens are united or these are fused. So how the fusion or how the union of stamens is taking place? Let us see. In some flowers, stamens are united. Okay, here the stamens are united or fused with each other. Then this union is of two types. Again, based on the type of union, it is two types. First one is the cohesion and the next one is the adhesion. Okay, what is cohesion here? It is the fusion among the stamens of the flower. Here, in between only the stamens, they themselves fuse. Okay, they will not fuse with the other part of the flowers like calyx, corolla or gynoecium. Only anthers or the stamens will fuse. Okay, so that is known as the cohesion. It includes the fusion of the filaments. Filaments means this. Okay, the stalk, either it may have fused or these anther lobes it may have fused. So this is the cohesion. Cohesion means it is nothing but the fusion among the stamens. If the stamens fused, that condition is called as the cohesion. Means they themselves fused. They will not fuse with either the corolla or calyx or gynoecium. Only fusion between the stamens is known as the cohesion. Okay. So here further this cohesion is divided into three types. What that is? First one is known as the Adelphi, second one is the Syngenetious and third one is the Cynandry. Let us see all these three one by one. First one is the Adelphi. Here what is Adelphi? Filaments of the stamens united and anther lobes are free. What does it mean? See here, if we draw the stamens here in this form, this is the filament, this is the anthers, okay, anther lobes. So what it is saying? These filaments are united, okay, these are fused, okay, these are fused, these are completely fused and the anther lobes remain free. So this condition in which the filaments are united and the anther lobes are free, this condition we call it as the Adelphi. Okay. Further, this Adelphi is subdivided into three types. What that is? Monoadelphous, diadelphous and polyadelphous. What is monoadelphous? Filaments of all stamens united to form a one bundle. Okay, all the filaments, okay, complete filaments all will get united or fused and form a bundle. Okay, and here the stamen, these loops are free. So here all are united and forming a single bundle. One bundle is formed with the filaments by the fusion of the filaments. So we call this condition as the monoadelphous. Example for that is the hibiscus. Then the next one, diadelphous. What is diadelphous here? Out of 10 stamens in the flower, the filaments of 9 stamens are fused to form one bundle and the 10th remain free as this second bundle. See here, there are total 10 stamens are there in the flower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Okay, so in these 9 stamens, all the filaments are fused. okay, are fused and form one bundle, okay, and the 10 stamens it will remain free and it form the second bundle. So here di means two bundles are formed, okay, in this two. One, it containing 9 stamens in which the filaments are fused and the single remain, it form a next another bundle. So total 2 bundles are there. So we call it as the diadelphous. It is seen in the dolichos. Then the next one is the polyadelphous. Here what is happening? Filaments of the stamens join together and form the several bundles. See here, many stamens are there, okay. Many stamens are there. These are uniting and forming single bundle. And some more stamens are here. These will form one more bundle. And here are the stamens which will again fuse and form the more bundles. So here more than 2 bundles are formed by the fusion of filaments. So we termed it as the polyadelphous condition. Example for that is the citrus. Okay. See here, we are having the diagram. Monoadelphous means all the stamens, see here, all the stamens here united and it is fused at the filaments, and here the lobes, here the stamen lobes are free. That is condition monoadelphous, which is seen in the hibiscus. Diadelphous, here total 9, in the 9 stamens all these filaments are united and forming a single bundle, and the 10th it remains free and form the second bundle. That is the diadelphous condition, which is seen in the dolichos. Polyadelphous means here filaments of the anthers join and form the several bundles. See here 1, 2, 3, 4. Here the 4 stamen lobes, anther lobes are free and forming a bundle that is the by fusion of the filaments. In this way these are forming more than 3 bundles. So we call it as the polyadelphous condition. Okay now. So this is about the adelphi. Then coming to the one more term that is known as the synandry. Syngenesious. Okay, first we'll discuss syngenesious, then we'll go for the synandry. What is syngenesious? Anther lobes of the stamens united and the filaments are free. See here, this is totally opposite. Here what they are saying, these are the anther lobes, okay, which are united, which are fused among themselves. But here the filaments are free, okay. In previous one in adelphi what we discussed, their anthers remain free and the overlapping or the fusion between the filaments is taken place in the adelphi, whereas in syngenesious the anther lobes, here the fusion between the anther lobes will take place. As a result the filaments remain free, okay. So example for this is the asteraceae, okay. In asteraceae members, example for this is the helianthus, that is the syngenesious. The next one is the synandry. Here filaments and anthers are fused completely, means here both the anthers as well as filaments, here there is a complete fusion, okay. Complete fusion will be seen in the synandry, that is seen in the cucurbita, okay. So what is adelphi? Adelphi means here the filaments are fused and here stamens are free, that is adelphi. Stamens are fused and filaments are free, that is the syngenesious. Synandry means both filaments as well as anthers are fused, that is the synandry. So that is the adelphi, syngenesious and synandry, okay. So let us move for next, that is the adhesion. We completed cohesion. We have seen the adelphi, syngenesious and synandrous condition. Now we'll go for the adhesion. What is adhesion? Fusion of stamens with other parts of the flower such as calyx, corolla and gynoecium. So this is known as the adhesion. So in cohesion what we studied there? Here there is the fusion between the stamens. Only the stamens, either the filaments or the anther lobes, it will fused. But here fusion of stamens with other parts of the flower. Here the fusion is not taking place between the stamens. Okay, here the stamens, it will fuse with the other parts of the flowers like calyx, corolla and the gynoecium. So we call this as the adhesion. Okay, in this further various types are there. That is the in this adhesion, first type is episepalous. What is episepalous condition? Stamens are attached to the sepals. Okay, here the stamens are attaching to the sepals or the calyx. We call this condition as the episepalous. Example for this is the grevillea, that is the silver oak. The next one is the epipetalous, means stamens attached to the petals. Okay, here it is attaching to the sepals. In this, the stamens attached to the petals. Example for this is the datura. The next one is the epiphyllous. The stamens attached to the tepals, that is the perianth lobes. What do you mean by tepals? Here we cannot differentiate calyx and corolla, so we are calling it as the tepals. Okay, example for this is the asparagus. Then gynostegium. What is gynostegium? Stamens are attached to the stigmas of the gynoecium. Okay, the stigmas of the gynoecium. Example for this is the calotropis. Okay, then coming to the next topic. Here, dehiscence of anther. Here what will happens? Anther, it produces the pollen grains which are the male gametes. So at the time of maturity, the anther wall, it will dehisce. As a result, there is the release of the pollen grains. So here the dehiscence of anther, how it will takes place? So there are the 4 types are there in the dehiscence of anther. Let us see this one by one. First is the longitudinal. Here what is happening? Wall of the anther dehisces longitudinally or vertically. See here, in this manner the dehiscence of the anther will takes place. We call it as the longitudinal. Then the next one is the coming to the transverse. In this, the anther dehisces transversely. See here, in this position, the dehiscence of anther will takes place. Then valvular. What is valvular here? The anther lobe dehisces like a valve. See here, in the form of the valves, the wall of the anther, it will come outside and the release of pollen grains will takes place. Then porous. Anther lobes dehisces in the form of apical pores. See here, with the small pore-like structure is there, from which the release of pollen grains will takes place. Then coming to the gynoecium, we call it as the pistil. Here, this is the pistil. Okay, in which mainly it is having 3 parts. The lowermost part is known as the ovary, which is the swollen structure at the base, and the middle portion is known as the style, and the last that is the terminal region is known as the stigma. Here the stigma, it receives the pollen grain, and the style, it is the connective between the stigma and ovary. So here the 3 main parts of the gynoecium is the ovary, style and stigma. So here coming to the description, it is the 4th whorl of the flower. Okay, here the 4th whorl is known as the gynoecium or the pistil, which is also known as the female reproductive organ. Here the inner whorl of the essential organs, okay, formed from the carpels. Here, what do you mean by inner whorl of essential organs? There are 2 essential organs are there, androecium and gynoecium. Androecium is the outer whorl of the essential organs, and the gynoecium is the inner wall of the essential organs. Okay, and here carpels are also known as the megasporophylls. They participate in the sexual reproduction and produces the fruits and seeds. So here the ovary, here it takes part in the fertilization, and the fruits and seeds are produced here. Gynoecium has the 3 basic parts. This is the swollen. Basal part is known as the ovary. Elongated this middle portion, it is known as the style, and the tip of the stigma is of the style is known as the stigma. Then coming to the number of carpels. See here, carpel means this. Okay, a single ovary, style and stigma, it is known as the carpel. Here, coming to the number of carpels. How many carpels are there in a flower? Okay, monocarpellary means a single carpel. A single carpel is there. We call it as the monocarpellary flower. Example for this is the dolichos. Bicarpellary, 2 carpels are there. Example is the solanum. Tricarpellary, 3 carpels are there. Example is allium. Tetracarpellary, 4 carpels are there. Example is Oenothera. Pentacarpellary, 5 carpels are there. Example is hibiscus. Multicarpellary, many carpels are there, more than 5, which is seen in the abutilon. Okay. Then coming to the fusion of carpels. Okay, here the carpels are fused. Okay, sometimes there is the fusion of carpels is there. So let us see how the fusion is happening here. The carpels of the gynoecium may remain free or partially fused. Okay, or sometimes it is completely fused. So there are various conditions. Either the carpels remains free in the flowers, or sometimes it is partially fused, or sometimes it is completely fused. So here, according to this, ovaries are 2 types, apocarpus and syncarpus. What is apocarpus condition here? The carpels are free. Okay, here the carpels, these carpels are free in the flowers. Okay, the carpels are free and each carpel has ovary, style and stigma. Each carpel is having ovary, style, stigma, which is seen in the Nilambo and Michelial. See here, each carpel is free. In this also each carpel is free. Then coming to the syncarpus. Here what is happening? The carpels are completely fused. See here, in Datura, there is a complete fusion. Here many carpels are fused and here the complete carpels are fused and forming a structure like this. Okay, so this is not a single carpel. It is the many carpels are there which is fused and form this structure. Okay, then carpels are partially fused. See here, this region and this region is fused, but here the stigmas remains free. So we are calling this as the partially fused, which is seen in the hibiscus. Completely fusion of the carpels is seen in Datura, whereas partial fusion of this carpel is seen in the hibiscus. Okay, then coming to this part. Okay, till now we have discussed the complete gynoecium or carpels. Now we'll go for the individual discussion of this ovary. Okay, in detailed discussion about the ovary. See here, ovary. Ovary is the basal swollen part of the gynoecium, just now which we have seen. It contains ovules which converts into the seeds after fertilization. Okay, it contains ovules which will convert into seeds after fertilization. Ovules are there which contains the eggs. So when the fertilization will takes place, when the male nucleus, it enters into the embryo sac and when it fuses with the egg, as a result the zygote will develop and which will convert into the seeds. Okay. In syncarpus gynoecium, margins of the carpels bend inside and united in the middle region. Here, what we said in the syncarpus, in syncarpus, the carpels are fused. If the carpels are fusing, see here, many carpels are there. See here, this is one carpel, this is another carpel. In this way, many carpels are there. Okay, so if the fusion is taking place, what is happening here? These margins, okay, the margins of the carpels, it will bend. Okay, now it will bend and united in the middle region. It will get united. As a result, the union is taking place in the middle region. Due to this wall is formed between the carpels and it forms a septa. a septa is developed, because due to the joining or bending of these particular margins, as a result a septa is formed between the carpels. So what this septa will do, this septa divides ovule into the locules. So here see here, if 5 carpels are there, if these are fused and it is forming a septa, so what it is forming, it is forming the locules, 1 2 3 4 5. In this way the locules are formed. By the fusion of carpels, septa is formed, so by which the septa is divided into the locules. Normally the number of locules are equal to the number of carpels. Okay, so if 2 carpels are there, 2 locules are formed. If 3 carpels are there, 3 locules are formed. But in some syncarpous gynoeciums, due to the lack of fusion of margins of the carpels, sometimes what will happen, the fusion between the margins will not take place, or sometimes what is happening, due to the absence of septa, okay, sometimes there is the no septa formation will takes place. As a result, it is forming as a single or the unilocular. Sometimes what is happening, there is no fusion between the margins, or sometimes there is the absence of septa. As a result, if a partition is not there, we are as a result a single locule is there, so a unilocular condition is developed. So here we can observe that a single locule is there. So in this type, the number of locules is not equal to the number of carpels. Are you understanding what I am trying to say? Generally, the number of carpels is equal to the number of locules. But sometime, in some conditions, due to the lack of fusion of margins or due to the absence of septa, what is happening, all these carpels will remain in the single locule. Okay, within a single locule many carpels are there, so that is having a single carpel. But in that condition, there is number of carpels is not equal to the number of locules, so this is a different condition. In Datura, generally bilocular ovary is there, means 2 locules are there. Okay, but here these 2 locules are converted into the 4 locules. It is becoming tetralocular. Why it is becoming tetralocular? Due to the development of false septum. Okay, generally 2 carpels are there, so it is forming 2 locules. But there is the formation of one more septa. As a result, now 4 locules are formed due to the development of false septum. Actually, this is not the actual septum or the true septum. Then coming to the one more term, that is the ventral suture. What is ventral suture here? The place of junction where one or more margins of the carpels are united. Okay, the place where one or more margins of the carpels are united. Okay, that is known as the ventral suture. What is dorsal suture here? Carpels which are associated and curved with the midrib. Okay, when it is associated with the carpels which is associated with the midrib, that region is known as the dorsal suture. So based on the number of locules, there are many types. Let us see what these are. Unilocular. A single locule is there in the ovary. Example for this is the dolichos. Bilocular. Bilocular. 2 locules are there. Example for this is the solanum. Trilocular. 3 locules are present. Example is allium. Tetralocular. 4 locules are there. Example is ipomia. Pentralocular. 5 locules are there. Hibiscus. More than 5 locules are there. That is the multilocular. Example is abutilon. Then coming to the style. What is style? It is nothing but it is the connective. Okay, it is the middle portion which connects ovary to the stigma. See here. If you want to draw this style, it looks like this. Okay, This is ovary, this is the stigma. Okay, so this middle connective portion we call it as the style. Okay, so here in flowers there are the three types of styles is seen. First is the terminal style. Okay, this style is developed from the apical part of the ovary. See here, this is the ovary. From this apical part the style is arising, so we call it as the terminal style, which is seen in the hibiscus. The next one is the lateral style. Here the style it arises from the lateral side. See here, this is the ovary. Here it is not arising from the apical part, it is arising from the lateral side. Okay, so we call it as the lateral style, which is seen in the mangifera. Then the third one is the gynobasic style. See here, this style arises from the base of the ovary. This is the ovary. From the basal part of the ovary, the style will arises between the four locules. See here, these are the locules of the ovary. In between the locules, the style will arises. Example is ocimum. Okay. Then coming to the stigma. Here, what is stigma? Stigma, it is the apical part. Okay, it is the apical part of the pistil. It receives the pollen grains, okay, where the pollination will occurs, and this part it will secrete some sugar like substances which help in the pollen germination. Then coming to the placentations. Okay, here types of placentations we'll discuss. How the flowers, the placentas are arranged. Okay, first we'll discuss the definition of placentation. The method of arrangement of ovules in the ovary of the gynoecium is known as the placentation. Okay, what we studied, inside the ovary ovules are there. So the type of arrangement, how the ovules are arranged in the ovary, that method is known as the placentation. The arrangement of ovules in the ovary is known as the placentation. Okay, then what is placenta? Part of the ovary that bears the ovules. Okay, here a part in the ovary which is consisting ovules, we call it as the placenta. Okay, here there are different types of placentations are seen in the flowering plants. First is marginal, second one is parietal, third is axile, fourth is precentral, fifth is basal, and sixth is the superficial. So these are the 6 types of placentations are there. First one is the marginal placentation. See here, the ovules are born along the ventral suture of the ovary. See here, this is the ventral suture. Okay. In this, the ovules are born in this way. Okay. And it is generally seen in the unilocular ovary. A single locule is there. Example for this is the dolichos, peas. Okay. In this, fruits or the vegetables, we found the marginal placentation. Then coming to the parietal placentation. See here, the ovules are born on the inner walls. This is the outer wall, this is the inner wall, outer and inner. So in this inner wall ovary, the ovules are born or on the intrusions of the wall. Okay, and sometimes it will form the incomplete partition, or sometimes it may develop the false septa. Okay, it means that is not actually or the true septa. Example for this is the brassica and cucurbita. The next one is the axile placentation. See here, the ovules are attached to the central axis. This is the central axis. So here, ovules are attached to the central axis of the ovary. Generally, this type of placentation is seen in the from the bi to the multicarpellary ovary. Okay, it is not seen in the unilocular ovary, unicarpellary ovary. Example for this is the hibiscus. Then free central placentation. It is developed from the axile placentation only. Actually, from this placentation only, this placentation is developed. How? With the degradation of septa. See here, here the septa is there. Okay, in between the locules, septa is present. But whereas here there is the no septa. So here ovary is multilocular in young stage, but at the later stage or the mature stage it becomes the unilocular. Okay, example for this is the dianthus. See here, at the from the central axis these ovules are arising. Now it is showing a single locule due to the degradation of the septa. Next one is the basal placentation. Here what is happening in basal placentation? Ovules are found at the base of the ovary. See here, this is the basal part. This is the basal part. This is the apical part. So here the basal part, from this the ovules are arising, and in this one or few ovules are present. Sometimes it contains a single ovule, sometimes many ovules are there. Okay, it is found in unilocular ovary. Okay, a single locule is present in which this type of placentation is seen. Example is Tridax and Helianthus. Then superficial placentation. See here, these green color structures, the ovules are born around the inner surface. Okay, around this inner surface of the septa. Okay, these are the septa. Okay, so here inner surface of the septa ovules are formed. Example for this is the nymphia. So this is all about the structure of flower. I hope you like this video. So please like, subscribe and share this video. Thank you for